to a person, but we don't connect people to vision. And one of the things we have to do is connect people to vision. God knew that Moses wouldn't make it into the promised land. And he didn't want to connect people to Moses because they ended up worshiping Moses. Right. Even though Moses was one of his own house, and they were his house, and they were baptized into Moses, God knew that Moses would leave the scene one day, and then there would be somebody else that you have to raise up to take Moses' place. And he didn't want them so attached to Moses that they could not follow the next leader over into the promised land. Because if it's a true vision from God, it will always outlive the visionary. And it'll be too big for one man. How many again the witnesses? One of the things we don't do in our lives and even in the church, we don't talk about preparing or training our successors. We're afraid to talk about stuff like that. Somebody need to be trained to take your place. Wherever you are in ministry, it doesn't matter where you are, what ministry you oversee, you ought to be training somebody to do what you do. And pray that they do it better than you. Stay with me now. Jesus wasn't intimidated by his followers. He trained them, right? He said, but when I go away, you're going to do even greater than what I have done. Amen. How many understand that? It's important to understand that. So we don't like talking about that. Amen. Now, I was sharing with the ministers training the other week. I'm just following my heart, okay? Amen. Sometimes I just like to talk as a father. Amen. I was sharing with the ministers training the other week how that Elijah, amen, went and under God's direction, by God's command, he went and he cast his mantle down at Elisha, they say in Israel, feet. And he knew what that meant when he cast the mantle down at his feet. He understood and recognized there was a call of God on his life, that God was calling him to connect to this man of God, to follow and be trained and mentored how to become his successor.
True. That's right.
Right? How to take his place. Elijah had been complaining. God heard that. Amen. God said, okay, I'm going to bring you home soon. And since I'm going to bring you home, I need you to train somebody to take your place. So that when you leave the scene, things won't miss a beat. Right. Too many things in the house of God miss a beat because there's not people trained and prepared to take your place when you leave. And sometimes people leave so unexpectedly. Yeah, there's just somebody about without even preparing somebody. How can you say God appointed you over something and you just leave it? Or how can you even allow somebody to trust you enough to appoint you over something and you leave it? Without preparing somebody to take your place so the ministry can keep going. And in the church as a whole, we have failed miserably.